know, the truth is that these things have no voice. Only 2% of philanthropy goes towards environmentalism, which is, you know, microscopic.
Who are you?
Is he legend?
Is he what?
Is he legend?
What is legend? Oh, really? Yeah, I suppose I am.
We're at a crossroads. Our planet, a breathtaking mosaic of life, is under threat.
3 degrees in downtown Los Angeles.
I believe that mankind has looked at climate change in that same way. Climate change is our single greatest security threat, but I think we all know better than that now. And it's no secret that you've been under great opposition to try to implement some of your climate change initiatives.
And amidst this unfolding crisis, one voice stands out. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah.
Being an actor is the first thing that I remember wanting to do in life. I think that that thirst or that drive to just achieve what I believe is something as good as, you know, those heroes that I have is what continues to make me want to do this.
Oh. Yeah.
That is not good. That is not good.
An actor of extraordinary talent, but off the screen, he's turned the spotlight towards Earth's most pressing issue, climate change.
We are at a pivotal turning point.
Haunted by Bosch's painting, A Tale of Paradise Lost, Leo has been a warrior for climate action.
So hard to make understand.
But here's where the plot thickens. Private jets,
Enough is enough. You know better. The world knows better.
mega yachts, a lifestyle that seems at odds with the message he champions. It's a glaring contradiction that's hard to ignore.
And then he told me, oh, you're probably going to break your legs now because we're going too fast.
But let's take a step back. In this complexity, in this apparent hypocrisy, there's a story that is profoundly human and deeply relatable.
As an actor, I pretend for a living. I play fictitious characters, often solving fictitious problems.
We all live in a world of contradictions. We strive for a greener planet while grappling with choices and lifestyles that often tell a different story.
Tend to not go repeat something like that.
The Leonardo DiCaprio Paradox isn't just about one man's battle between opulence and activism.
The world is now watching. We ask you to protect it.
It's a mirror reflecting our collective struggle.
Are we and all living things we cherish our history?
Our journey to reconcile the lives we lead with the values we hold dear.
It's hard to maintain.
In this revealing exploration, we'll confront uncomfortable truths, wrestle with the glaring contradictions, and embark on a quest for answers that lies deep within us all.
You know, I'm your man, you know, I'll do whatever you want, you know.
Join us as we unravel the paradox, not to judge, but to understand, not to condemn, but to inspire action.
The show goes on!
Coming soon, be ready to question, to reflect, and to step into a world where the battle for the Earth's future is personal for each one of us. Buckle up, because we're about to uncover the thrilling journey of Leonardo DiCaprio's rise to superstardom, exploring how he got inspired to join the climate activism movement, all while diving deep into the fiery controversies that swirl around his passionate advocacy. Los Angeles, 1974. In a city where each street corner buzzes with the dreams of tomorrow, a young Leonardo DiCaprio finds his beginnings. The son of a German mother and an Italian-German father, Leonardo's childhood is shaped by diversity.
Foster home.
His narrative weaving between two cultures. Despite his parents' early divorce,
It's made me felt confused for how we've dealt with it all.
DiCaprio maintained a close connection with his father, a comic book artist who knew Andy Warhol, Lou Reed, and LSD proselytizer Timothy Leary had an influence on the young Leonardo's obsession with climate activism. Leonardo's father used to put a picture of one of the most terrifying paintings of all time over young Leo's crib so the kid would nightly fall asleep to a scene of ravagement, despair, and damnation. Although he was primarily raised by his mother.
We learned that one of the greatest loves of Leo's life is his mother, Irma Lynn DiCaprio.
Who worked as a legal secretary.
That's right, Mom.
From a very young age, DiCaprio knew he wanted to become either a marine biologist or an actor.
I wanted to become a marine biologist.
He eventually focused on the latter after his parents encouraged him to explore his creative side. Unsurprisingly, DiCaprio's incredible talent was evident right from the start. He began performing on stage and imitating characters at just 2 years old.
Yeah, I think that gave me a lot of motivation to sort of, I think, be successful.
Despite his unique gift, young DiCaprio felt like he wasn't cut out for acting.
Because you wanted out of that environment?
Yeah, I did.
So what motivated him to keep going? It was a $50,000 check from a TV commercial, and the fact that he grew up in the heart of Hollywood.
I grew up in an artistic household. I was always kind of imitating my dad's friends, and I would imitate everyone around us in the neighborhood. I'd do that, carry that over in school and get into a lot of trouble constantly. Once I found out that people actually got paid for this, I was like, all right.
During his childhood, DiCaprio continued appearing in TV commercials while attending drama classes in both junior high and high school. However, he dropped out of John Marshall High School, but eventually earned a general equivalency diploma. As for most Hollywood legends, DiCaprio didn't have much luck as a beginner until he reached his early teens. At 13, he finally found an agent and appeared in commercials for prominent brands like Kraft Singles,
new Kraft-free singles, fat-free,
Bubble Yum,
a chunk of super soft Bubble Yum bubblegum,
and Apple Jacks a year later. But DiCaprio was still far from landing a major TV role and struggled with finding an acting job despite multiple auditions. At one point, the young teen even considered quitting, but his father,
And I think that gave me a lot of motivation.
along with a strong desire for financial security, encouraged him to keep going. It wasn't until the early 90s that the budding actor started appearing regularly on television, following minor roles in The Outsider and Santa Barbara.
She's been depressed since my father kicked her out and refused to let her see me.
And guest appearances on programs such as The New Lassie.
Wait a minute. Our team's got the hottest writer.
And Roseanne.
Huh? What does that mean in English?
DiCaprio was cast in the dramatic comedy Parenthood.
Little grandma and grandpa and grandma died.
The series only aired for one season, but it earned him a Young Artist Award nomination for Best Young Actor in a new television series. In 1991, he received another Young Artist Award nomination for his performance in Growing Pains, a family sitcom that also starred Kirk Cameron. That same year, DiCaprio made his film debut in the low-budget horror film Critters 3, which he later described as possibly one of the worst films of all time. Nevertheless, it earned him a third Young Artist Award nomination and prepared him for not one, but two career-defining roles. 1993, after his brief appearance in Poison Ivy, Leonardo DiCaprio gained recognition through his first major film role opposite Robert De Niro in This Boy's Life, an adaptation of Tobias Wolff's memoir. The drama film focused on the tumultuous relationship between a teenage boy and his stepfather.
You know it! Mom, you can leave too. I'm leaving. You don't have to stay here for this shit.
Portrayed by Leo and De Niro, respectively, the pairing worked exceptionally well on the big screen, with both fans and critics praising Leo's breakout performance. In his review, the late Roger Ebert wrote, "The movie is successful largely because he is a good enough actor to hold his own in his scenes with De Niro." Leo was reportedly handpicked by De Niro from a list of 400 young actors.
Well, I've known Leo since he was 15. We did This Boy's Life. That's 30 years I've known him.
DiCaprio himself knew how fortunate he was to land such an opportunity. He said in an interview, "It was a very coveted role. There were hundreds of kids auditioning for it, and it came down to the wire with myself, Tobey Maguire, and one or two other kids. I just got lucky that day. We did this final audition with De Niro and Michael, and luckily, they saw something in me." Despite his instinctive talent, Leo was evidently inexperienced and still had to learn how to behave on a film set. According to director Michael Caton Jones, the teenage actor came with a bunch of bad habits that we got rid of. Thanks to the strict mentoring he received on set, Leo's work ethic improved drastically. In the same year, DiCaprio once again captured attention with his portrayal of Arnie, the developmentally disabled brother of Johnny Depp's character in What's Eating Gilbert Grape. During auditions for the role, Leo turned down more money than I ever dreamed of to play Max in 1993's Hocus Pocus, the actor said in a 2014 interview.
I don't know where the hell I got the nerve.
But there was something about that role in Gilbert Grape that made me say, you know what, I'm going to pass on this and go for this other role.
But I got a lot of different movements from them, little things that they did with their hands.
Initially, director Lasse Hallström was skeptical about casting Leo in What's Eating Gilbert Grape because he seemed too good-looking for the part.
Very easy time preparing emotionally, really professional, in mental preparation, emotional preparation.
However, upon Caton Jones's recommendation, Hallström gave the actor a chance, eventually declaring him as the most observant auditionee. It's safe to say Leo took the job seriously.
No.
He spent several days at homes for mentally ill teenagers, studying their mannerisms in great detail.
I actually went to a home where they had about 15 different disabled kids that were my age. I basically went in there, videotaped them, researched them, went over each individual character with Lasse and figured out how I wanted Arnie to be.
The result was a jaw-dropping performance that impressed film industry insiders, who found it hard to believe that a 19-year-old actor had pulled off such a delicate and challenging role. More importantly, the performance earned Leo his first National Board of Review Award, as well as nominations for a Golden Globe Award and an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor, making him the 7th youngest Oscar nominee in the category. 1995, following the critical success of This Boy's Life and What's Eating Gilbert Grape, DiCaprio caught the attention of directors, studios, and casting agents. This was when he was offered one of the biggest roles of his early career, a superhero role nonetheless. He was up for portraying Robin, alongside Val Kilmer's Batman, in 1995's Batman Forever, a role that eventually went to Chris O'Donnell. According to DiCaprio, he didn't even screen test for the film. As I recall, I took the meeting but didn't want to play the role, the actor explained. Joel Schumacher is a very talented director, but I don't think I was ready for anything like that. Declining to play Robin certainly didn't damage DiCaprio's career prospects. He continued to pursue diverse film roles that would showcase his versatility as an actor and shift the focus from his much discussed physical appearance to his talent. The Oscar nominee starred in Sam Raimi's Western film, The Quick and the Dead.
Did I kill him?
Alongside Sharon Stone, Gene Hackman, and Russell Crowe. Sharon reportedly paid Leo's salary herself after Sony Pictures was reluctant to cast him. That same year, DiCaprio also landed lead roles in the biographical crime drama The Basketball Diaries.
You know what the f*** I'm talking about, Reggie? Where is it?
And the historical drama film Total Eclipse.
Don't expect me to be faithful to you.
In 1996, the young star portrayed Romeo opposite Claire Danes' Juliet in Baz Luhrmann's Romeo plus Juliet, which helped establish him as a leading Hollywood actor.
Not saints' lips? And holy palmers too?
I'm a pilgrim.
Initially, Leo was unsure about the role. I didn't want to run around in tights, swinging a sword, but upon his father's suggestion, he decided to give it a try. It's safe to say his first collaboration with the award-winning director worked exceptionally well. The film was a critical and commercial success, with British film critic David Thompson calling Leo a vital spark in Romeo plus Juliet. He continued the streak with his final pre-Titanic film, the 1996 drama Marvin's Room, co-starring Meryl Streep, Diane Keaton, and Robert De Niro, marking yet another achievement on young Leo's bucket list. 1997, Leonardo DiCaprio rose to international stardom when he co-starred with Kate Winslet in James Cameron's Titanic, a timeless classic that narrates the sinking of the infamous ocean liner. To play Jack Dawson, according to Anderson, the decision wasn't easy for Leo, who spent many months agonizing and debating about it. DiCaprio later told GQ that he would have been happy to do both roles. But the truth is, if I'd not done Titanic, I wouldn't be able to do the types of movies or have the career I have now, for sure, he said. But it would have been interesting to see if I had gone the other way, while Leo became the king of the world. Interestingly, DiCaprio wasn't James Cameron's first choice for the era-defining character of Jack Dawson. The legendary filmmaker initially felt Leo didn't strike me as necessarily having the qualities I wanted for my Jack, so he considered several other established actors, including Matthew McConaughey, Chris O'Donnell, Billy Crudup, and Stephen Dorff. It's rumored that Tom Cruise was interested in the role, but his asking price was too high. Brad Pitt, Christian Bale, and Johnny Depp were also shortlisted for the lead in the most expensive film ever made at the time. However, Cameron always envisioned River Phoenix as Jack, and if Phoenix had not passed away in 1993, it would likely have been him in the role.
And the mysterious death of actor River Phoenix is also shaking the film community tonight.
Not DiCaprio. As the casting process continued, Jared Leto was offered the part to secure his place on the RMS Titanic, but he refused. Finally, Cameron's casting director brought in a 21-year-old DiCaprio, who had his own hesitations about the part. In fact, he wasn't even interested in reading his first romantic scene. According to Cameron, he read it once, then started goofing around, and I could never get him to focus on it again.
For 5 minutes. He snapped into character, he became Jack for 5 minutes, and then he stepped back to being Leo.
But for one split second, a shaft of light came down from the heavens and lit up the forest.
Dark clouds had opened up and a ray of sun came down and lit up Jack.
That's the moment Cameron knew he had found his Jack Dawson, and from there, all he had to do was convince Leo. Unsurprisingly, Cameron wasn't the only one impressed with DiCaprio's charm and remarkable acting ability.
Face it, they were on a track to greatness before I cast them in Titanic.
After their initial screen test, Kate was so taken by Leo that she urged Cameron to cast him, even if he didn't cast her.
Said to Jim, even if you don't hire me, you have to hire him.
Fortunately, both Kate and Leo were selected to bring Rose and Jack to life. They quickly became Hollywood's most iconic on-screen couple as the film propelled their individual careers to a stratospheric level.
This is absurd.
Titanic became the first film to surpass the billion-dollar mark in international sales, eventually making more than $2.2 billion at the global box office.
And hype about Titanic, its success so far.
Despite its lengthy runtime, the epic disaster film was lauded by fans and critics for its visual effects, cinematography, emotional depth, and direction. It won a record-setting 11 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director, 4 Golden Globe Awards.
Titanic! The Oscar goes to James Cameron for Titanic.
As well as 4 Grammys for its unforgettable soundtrack, My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion.
Come on, Celine Dion.
Meanwhile, DiCaprio received a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actor.
I want you to understand, I don't get it. It can't be profitable for the both of us.
Would you please just stop being so fucking pleasant?
Titanic's success
No, I don't do my taxes.
Where are the kids? Oh my God.
also demonstrated that the young star could excel in traditional leading man roles.
Men are bashed. Skull.
Please, God!
And solidified his standing as a romantic lead, although that was never his priority. Leo's face was all over the world as he became an A-list celebrity with a growing following of fans and admirers.
This film is it's a very nice reception.
The actor's heart-swooning portrayal of Jack, along with his youthful good looks, landed him on People magazine's list of the 50 most beautiful people in 1997 and 1998. Immediately after Titanic, Leo reportedly reduced his workload to learn to hear his own voice in choosing the roles he wished to pursue in the future.
I'm a good guy.
In 1998, he starred in The Man in the Iron Mask, before taking the lead role in 2000's The Beach, both of which turned out to be his most forgettable films. Around that time, DiCaprio turned down the offer to play Neo in the 1999 blockbuster film, The Matrix. The role eventually went to Keanu Reeves, who won multiple awards for his performance and became part of one of the most beloved sci-fi franchises of all time.
It was good fun. It was a fantastic cast. We all got along really well. And
before signing up for The Beach, DiCaprio rejected 2 more lead roles. One in the 1999 film, The Talented Mr. Ripley, which was nominated for 5 Oscars, and the iconic character of Patrick Bateman in the 2000 horror thriller American Psycho. The studio was so adamant about casting DiCaprio that they offered him a $20 million salary and even replaced director Mary Harron because she was in favor of Christian Bale playing the lead role. By that point, DiCaprio had already become Bale's nemesis, according to Bale's former publicist and assistant, Harrison Cheung. In his award-winning book, Christian Bale, The Story of the Darkest Batman, Cheung writes, DiCaprio, the name burned Christian like a branding iron. Over the years, Christian had lost this boy's life, and what's eating Gilbert great? To DiCaprio. Christian, too, had gone up for the part of Jack Dawson in Titanic, but was told that James Cameron didn't want 2 British lead actors playing the 2 leads who were both supposed to be American. Leo ultimately parted ways with American Psycho after he was advised not to star in a film depicting violence against women, as it could affect his approval ratings with female audiences, which constituted most of his fan base at the time.
I had this necklace. I went to this very religious Catholic school, and the necklace just said Leonardo DiCaprio.
Long crush on Leo.
I really like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh yeah?
I had a framed photo of him in my room when I was a kid that was signed by him.
It was probably for the better, since Christian Bale perfectly embodied the character of Patrick Bateman and truly made it his own. American Psycho also allowed Bale to showcase his talents to the world, bringing him one step closer to becoming the A-list actor he is today. Years later, Bale even jokingly thanked DiCaprio for turning down the role and credited his cinematic success to the Titanic star. Any role that anybody gets, it's only because he's passed on it beforehand, Bale said in a 2022 interview with GQ. Literally, he gets to choose everything he does, and good for him, he's phenomenal. Turns out, Bale isn't the only actor who owes his big break to DiCaprio. Tobey Maguire, for instance, wouldn't have landed his breakthrough role as Peter Parker in the first live-action adaptation of Spider-Man if it wasn't for Leo. That was another one of those situations, similar to Robin, where I didn't feel ready to put on that suit yet, DiCaprio explained years later. Despite turning down so many great roles, Leonardo DiCaprio went on to build the type of memorable filmography most actors dream of.
You're looking very handsome today, I must say.
During the 2000s, he started collaborating with esteemed directors, with films like Steven Spielberg's Catch Me If You Can, and Martin Scorsese's Gangs of New York and The Aviator. The latter won Leo his first Golden Globe and another Oscar nomination, this time as a leading actor.
Thank you to the Academy. Thank you to all of you in this room. I have to congratulate the other incredible...
DiCaprio then tackled 2 more challenging roles. He portrayed Billy Costigan in the 2006 Oscar winner, The Departed, a role for which he reportedly gained 15 pounds.
Comes in here against every instinct of privacy, of self-reliance.
That same year, he played a diamond smuggler in the political war thriller Blood Diamond.
That diamond is my ticket out of this God-forsaken continent.
He spent 6 months in South Africa preparing for the role.
I don't think so.
In 2008, the award-winning actor reunited with Kate Winslet in Revolutionary Road, before starring in Martin Scorsese's psychological thriller Shutter Island and Christopher Nolan's Oscar-winning mind-bender Inception in 2010.
But sometimes it feels like it's almost creating itself, if you know what I mean. Spinning the dream it would never topple.
Both films earned him widespread critical acclaim and sizable paychecks, with Inception bringing him $50 million, his highest payday for a film performance to date.
You're sick. I really mean that. You're sick.
2012, DiCaprio starred as the villainous Calvin Candy in Django Unchained, Quentin Tarantino's highest-grossing movie to date. The following year, he delivered a tremendous, hard-won performance in another box office success, The Great Gatsby, and continued his winning streak after reuniting with Scorsese to star in and co-produce The Wolf of Wall Street. Leo's groundbreaking portrayal of Jordan Belfort earned him a Golden Globe and an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor.
Thank you.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Hollywood's golden boy with a touch of cinematic magic, had an Oscar-shaped hole in his glittering resume for years. Each nomination brought waves of anticipation. Each snub, a collective sigh of maybe next time. However, the legend's big Oscar win didn't come until 3 years later. 2015, DiCaprio took on of the most challenging roles of his career. He produced and starred in The Revenant as Hugh Glass, a role for which he ate raw bison, slept in animal carcasses, and endured freezing temperatures.
Native American was actually eating bison liver. I'm eating this giant gelatinous bloody Jell-O pancake. My reaction is up on screen.
With such unwavering dedication to his craft, Leo once again garnered global recognition and critical acclaim, ultimately earned his first Oscar in 2016, alongside a Golden Globe, a BAFTA, and a Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Actor. In 2016, the wait ended, a cinematic climax fit for a star of his caliber.
Leonardo DiCaprio. This is the first Oscar and 6th nomination for Leonardo DiCaprio.
After winning the award for Best Actor for his role in The Revenant, he joked during his acceptance speech,
I do not take tonight for granted. Thank you so very much.
In his Oscar speech, Leonardo didn't just thank the Academy and his colleagues,
Of the tireless efforts of an unbelievable cast and crew I got to work alongside. First off, to my brother in this endeavor, Mr. Tom Hardy.
but also took a moment to highlight something important to him. A significant portion of his speech was dedicated to raising awareness about climate change. He stated that
Making The Revenant was about man's relationship to the natural world, a world that we collectively felt in 2015 as the hottest year in recorded history.
Leonardo stressed the immediate, real threat of climate change, calling for urgent collective action. He urged support for leaders who prioritize humanity and the planet over corporate interests, advocating for the welfare of the vulnerable and underprivileged affected by environmental changes.
It is the most urgent threat facing our entire species, and we need to work collectively together and stop procrastinating. We need to speak for all of humanity, for the indigenous people of the world.
Leo loves the earth. He talks about it, he's given a lot of money to help it, and he even started a foundation for it. His foundation has helped make the air cleaner, saved animals, and protected forests. Sounds great, right? But not everyone is happy with the way he goes about it. Some people point fingers at Leo. They see him flying around in private jets and hanging out on big yachts and say, hey, that's not very eco-friendly. Private jets and yachts burn a lot of fuel and release a bunch of pollution into the air. So, people ask if Leo is really serious about saving the planet, or if he just talks the talk without walking the walk. People are not shy about calling him out. The internet, newspapers, and TV shows buzz with comments about how Leo says one thing and does another. It's a big topic, and lots of folks are talking about it. Despite the criticisms and the praise in the environmental realm, DiCaprio hasn't turned his back on Hollywood. Cinema is where we first met him, and it's an art form he continues to cherish. Fans will be elated to know that DiCaprio is set to star in upcoming movies that promise to showcase the depth of his acting prowess. In 2019, he received multiple award nominations in the same category for his role in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, co-starring Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie. DiCaprio next starred in the 2021 satirical comedy Don't Look Up, for which he earned a Golden Globe and BAFTA award nomination. Now, in 2023, Leo shows no signs of slowing down. The esteemed actor, producer, philanthropist, and activist has reportedly collaborated with Martin Scorsese for a 6th time on Killers of the Flower Moon. This upcoming crime drama film also stars Robert De Niro and is set to release on October 6th, marking DiCaprio's much-awaited return to the big screen. Throughout his entire career, Leonardo DiCaprio has made tough yet strategic decisions that allowed him to carve his own path, eventually becoming one of the finest and highest-paid actors of his generation. Despite his star reputation and an impressive net worth of $300 million, DiCaprio's focus remains on his craft. The legendary Hollywood icon continues to demonstrate sophisticated acting by disappearing into his roles, a skill praised by both critics and fans who admire his ability to reveal a character while concealing the actor. Leonardo DiCaprio, a philanthropist, actor, and activist, faces criticism with grace and openness.
All I know is what I feel.
Always ready for a constructive conversation. He's a believer in personal growth and the power of collective efforts for environmental conservation. While steadfast in his advocacy, Leo's heart still lies in the art of storytelling, and each critique only fuels his passion to deliver unforgettable performances, proving that his love for acting and the environment can coexist. His uniqueness and unpredictability make him an enigmatic star, one as complex and perplexing as the roles he plays.
Climate change is real. It is happening right now. Let us not take this planet for granted. I do not take tonight for granted. Thank you so very much.